Hey folks, it's your friendly neighborhood goblin here. So, these mooks found some storybooks in the back of the studio and, well, I can't believe I'm being made to do this. They're basically gonna discuss some interesting lore for you. Anyways, sit back, relax, and make sure no Sithilid gets in your toesies. Ratchet Radio presents Story Time with Grumpa.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Ratchet Radio Storytime. Now, this is a brand new series where effectively one of us is going to sit down and tell you a story, while hopefully not having our throats die because we haven't drunk anything. So, because this is an idea I've been going on for a while, the other two morons thought it would be a good idea for me to go first. So today I'm going to tell you the story of Velen and the Draenei, and then towards the end I'm going to talk really about how it affects roleplay and how I see the Draenei really, and how they interact with things. So 25,000 years ago, the Draenei were known as the Eridar. The Eridar lived on this lovely world called Argent. They were extremely intelligent people and had a natural affinity for magic in all its forms. Using their gifts, they developed a vast and wondrous society in which art, science, magic and technology were all together. They were aided by this thing called the Atomar Crystal. It was a triangular crystal whose origin the Eridar had no idea about, although legend suggests it being a gift bestowed on them on ancient times. Now, the Eridar were led by three people: Kil'jaeden, Archimond and Velen, and one day they were approached by Sargeras, the Dark Titan. Sargeras claimed he was an almighty god and was impressed by the Eridar's work and wanted to support them in it by giving them knowledge and power in exchange for their loyalty. And Archimond and Kil'jaeden thought this was a fantastic deal on offer, and they accepted it, no problem. Velen had his suspicions. Velen went and prayed, and eventually had a vision of a universe on fire, with creation burning and people suffering. And he went and told Kil'jaeden and Archimond, and they weren't interested. They'd already fallen beneath Sargeras' influence. Velen was then in despair. He didn't know what to do, but he went to the atomic crystal, and it began to glow. And a voice came to Velen, and it told him that it was one of the Naru, a creature that was bathed in the light of creation. The Naru Kur offered to take Velen and any other of his people who thought the same way he did to escape. Velen was relieved, and thankfully he wasn't alone, and other Eridar went with him on the appointed day. And then, well, Kil'jaeden and Archimond weren't exactly too pleased, and were quickly chasing them. They barely escaped Velen, and who become Draenei. They barely escaped, but they escaped on the Genedar. But in their escape, the Atari crystal was shattered into 7 stars, each colour for a different one of the rainbow. After this, the Draenei named themselves the Draenei, or exiled ones in their own language, and they hid among many worlds and explored much of the cosmos in their quest to find a safe harbor. But Kil'jaeden was not exactly pleased that Velen and the people who left. He saw Velen's leaving as a betrayal, and so went after him and chased him across the stars. The Naru, however, blessed the Draenei with the power of the light. The Naru promised the Draenei that when the time came, that they would be leading the charge in the army of the light against the Legion. More than 200 years before the First War, Velen and his Draenei settled upon a remote and peaceful world that seemed like an ideal refuge. They named it Draenor, and they quickly began to rebuild their society, but they were extremely worried about being discovered by Kil'jaeden's forces, as the Velen and the rest of the Draenei Magi, priests, and just magical casters kept their magic hidden. But the Draenei weren't alone on this world. That they were, as they were aliens, they had to meet the native inhabitants, and they met the orcs. And aside really from in trade, the Draenei and orcs regarded each other with respect, but kept each other apart. But eventually the Draenei were found, and Kil'jaeden was all too pleased to have a chance of revenge. Jaden eventually, through Gul'dan, forced the orcs into drinking human blood, and they went on a rampage and they massacred the Draenei. Most of their race was utterly destroyed. 80% of the Draenei fell, and the rest just fled for the corner of the world. Horror continued to follow the Draenei on Draenor when those who defended Shatrath at the end had been inflicted by some sort of strange fell mist, and they began to turn into the Broken. Those that were collected of the night, their anchorites and vindicators, like Akama and Ubuntu, for example, found a link to light had been shattered, and they became the Broken, or Kurenai. Now, thankfully, Kil'jaeden thought everything was over. The Draenei were extinguished. However, Velen and a handful of his people fled into Zangarmarsh, and they hid there, trying to survive and trying to keep hidden until one day they could finally escape. Eventually, though, it came in the form of Tempest Keep. The Naru had arrived on what was now Outland, and the Draenei saw they could use the Tempest Keep as a way to escape. The Blood Elves under Kael'thas, though, got left first, and Velen led his people personally on a charge to take one satellite of Tempest Keep, the Exodar. And the Exodar they were going to use to escape and plane shift and go somewhere else where they could be safe and calm and happy. The Blood Elves, though, however, discovered their plans, and while the Exodar was in flight, sabotaged the engines. And so the Exodar fell, and fell, and fell, until there was a massive bang over the skies of the world of Azeroth. The Draenei had arrived. From that point on, the Draenei have sought to cultivate a society here on Azeroth. Been working with the Alliance, especially liking their ideals of honour, companionship, and a sense of brotherhood, and also trying to forewarn pure Azeroth of the eventual war of the Legion. Now, not all Draenei went with Velen. Some stayed, and some went back to Shatrath and conducted rites in a ruined temple, and these people were called the Eldor. The Adal, the Naru, came and began to rebuild Shatrath. Of course, we then have the whole saga with the Scryers, which is a story for another time. But Eldor were very much the neutral Draenei of Draenor. Now, we all know that in World of Draenor we went to an alternate timeline, and where Draenor has not yet become Outland, and we saw a glimpse of what Draenor society might have been. We saw the Rangari, for example, and we saw what Orkandun was and how important it was. It wasn't just a burial ground. In many senses, it was very much a holy place, which you couldn't really understand when you played PC. Now, from a roleplay perspective, the Draenei are an interesting race. They're a race that continually has to move. To be extremely crude, the fundamental thing about the Draenei is they're hermits. They continually having to move, be it through by the Burning Legion or their pawns. But the Draenei have shown resilience, and I think it shows, and their unwavering connection to light continues on. Their devotion to the Naru. While they don't see the Naru as gods per se, they hold them as creatures of the most astounding natures. How I've seen Draenei portrayed on Argent Dawn varies. I've seen Draenei who couldn't cope with all they've lost and all the stresses, and they've taken to drinking. But I've also seen Draenei who are peaceful and would want to start again with the orcs, understanding that actually you've been affected by demons. We're here for you. And the same applies to the elves. I've also seen Draenei that are very militant, not forgiving, not nothing, and would happily strike out. I think All those scopes show the Draenei race perfectly. It shows those that struggle, it shows those who can forgive, and those who want vengeance, which any human, any person outside the game can understand. Some people can't cope, some people would want to seek forgiveness, and some would want vengeance. And I think all Draenei role players who can show any of those and anything in between is definitely something to be proud of. With Legion coming up, I think the Draenei should have a huge role to play. Legion have come to our world, and the Draenei are the people who know how to fight Legion the best. What's going to happen? I have an idea. I'm not going to spoil it, but I definitely think those who play a priest and are interested in Draenei, you're going to have a lot to learn, especially in your class order. And yes, Velen will be there. Finally, we have Velen back in the story. What else will happen beyond them? We don't know. All we can hope is that the Draenei have not just been sitting on their backsides doing nothing, and it'll be revealed that Draenei have begun forming the Grand Army of the Light. And the Draenei are going to be there. So in conclusion, the Draenei as a race are hardy, devoted, and friends. They will never give up on you. That's something which the lore shows and definitely role players show. And it's something which I think people outside the game can definitely want to aspire to. So that was my little story recap. It's a very, very quick recap of the Draenei lore, how I see Draenei roleplay, how I personally think it should be done. Then again, it's my personal opinion. Feel free to disagree with me. But I hope you can understand a bit more now. So this was the very first story time. Very much new to this, we're all still learning. I'm not sure who's going next, it might be Andrew, it might be Edgesel. But we hope you liked it, and comments and feedback are welcomed. If you would maybe prefer to see it as a discussion rather than just one of us sitting and talking to you, let us know. If you want us to talk about something else, go for it. I'd like to thank you all very much for watching, and keep safe and enjoy your roleplay. Goodbye.